Good evening. Welcome to the Bellefleur Tire Shop, Grand Falls, Greenfoot Rapids post-game show. Well, I told you from the beginning that I would be honest with you, and I wouldn't sugarcoat anything. Yeah, this game just flat out sucked. It sucked because let me rephrase that. This game sucked because it was a tough loss because it was so close. And for those who are watching the game, you'll know what I'm talking about. For those who are watching at home or you weren't able to tune into the game, it was a 3-1 loss to the Campbellton Tigers, but it was very, very close. It was basically fought right up until the end. Ended up being 1-0 in the first for Campbellton. Nathan Lebrasser got his fourth goal of the season. Matthew Fournier, who drew into the lineup for the first time this season, ended up getting his first of the year. First assist of the year, should I say. And so that was, 1-0. It was early in the first period. But it was a goal that Thibodeau Soucy had, but just somehow trickled into the net. Now, those are goals. I mean, they're tough. They do happen, but they're tough. And never feels better looking at it in any other light than it was just a fluke goal. Because, let's be honest, that was a fluke goal. And should it have gone in? No. Did it? Yes. Can we do anything about it? No. But it is what it is. So, remains 1-0 after the first period, which is all right. Had a couple of power plays for each side. Both teams going 0-for-2 in the first period. Yeah, that's all right. Then Liam Duquette takes a holding penalty. Braden Campbell would strike back his 8th of the season on the power play. And we talked about this so many times, and we'll go in depth about it in just a moment here. Braden Campbell gets one on the power play. Jonah Laird and Loic Francoeur draw the assists. Then, about 6 minutes later, Alexis Perrin ends up breaking the tie and putting the Tigers up 2-1. There would be a lot of opportunities for the Rapids in the second period. Nothing would materialize. Then the third comes around. There were a lot of penalties in the third, including Brett Woodard and Derek Asselin just going at each other. And look, I'm not one who usually says that, fighting's a part of hockey, right? And I'm somebody who doesn't usually say, hey, that was a kick-ass fight. But that was a hell of a scrap. If you missed it, you definitely need to go back and watch it. Because that was something that was just so, that was a legendary tilt. And little did I know that Derek Astlin could throw the mitts like he did. He's actually not a bad scrapper. And I was, pleasantly surprised with that. It was able to give the Rapids a little bit of energy. But, as is with all things, unfortunately, they were not able to make the comeback. It was Adam Verano getting his 15th goal of the season to ice the game and put the Rapids away on a 5-game losing streak. So, we talked about this team will struggle, okay? They have struggled. And unfortunately, sometimes that's how things go. The power play. I feel like we need to talk about that. Because, again, I'll tell you how many power play opportunities they had through the course of the game. In the first period, they had 2. Went 0-for-2. In the second period, they had 2. Went 1-for-4. Third period, they went 1-for-5, 1-for-6, 1-for-7. So You 1 for 6, sorry, is what it was. You go 1 for 6 on the power play. You went into this as the top power play percentage in the division. I said this on the broadcast, and something's got to change. Something has got to change. Because they went into this game with the top power play percentage in the division. You see them step on the ice, and you would never think that they were the top power play. They got a couple of good shots on goal through the power play opportunities, but they've gotten to the point where they're starting to get, I don't want to say predictable, but they're starting to get a lot more passes broken up. They're turning the puck over a lot. Those drop passes, man, I won't go any further on that, but something's got to change on the power play. Overall, yes, it was a tough loss. Yes, it sucked. But there were a lot of things that looked really good. Jeremy Thibodeau-Soucy looked fantastic. Okay? He was lights out this game. How he didn't get one of the stars of the game, I do not understand that. Only allowed 2 goals. Yeah, it was a final score of 3-1, but keep in mind, one of them was an empty net. Overall, aside from the power play, there weren't a whole lot of issues this game. It was really that one goal in the second period that ended up costing them the game. And even then, they kept it competitive. They kept it close. Which 3 out of the last 4 games, if you go back and you look at the stats, they were keeping it close. It's not like the only game that they got blown out in the last 4 games was Summerside. You look at Truro, they ended up losing 5-3. You look at Amherst, they lost 5-4. You look at tonight, they lost 3-1. Doesn't matter. They kept it close. They kept it competitive until the very end. And that's something that this team is good at, is not faltering when you need them the most. Sure, it would have been nice for them to get the win. I mean, yeah, of course it would. But they kept it close, and they kept it competitive. Like I said in the pregame show, they seem to struggle against the lower tier teams. But this was, I got to give credit where credit's due for Campbellton. They came out and they played the most organized game that I've seen them play in the last little while. Which is good for them. But for Grand Falls, listen, I've seen a lot of people, not just on social media, a lot of people have talked to me and they're just like, what is going on with the Rapids? Now's not the time to lose faith. The sky is not falling yet. They're on a 5-game losing streak, yes. They'll find their way. They always do. They've just got to break the funk and get out of that rhythm and find their rhythm that we know that they can play with. Look, I won't sugarcoat it. Yeah, some losses are painful like this, and I'm sure a lot of you are going to agree. But the best thing that you can do is, no matter what, cheer them on. Come to the games. Watch every second of the action. Because even if they're on a losing streak like they are, your support helps them a ton. And the more noise that you make at the games, like, I was really disappointed a little bit tonight because there wasn't really enough noise. The Go Rapids Go chant got started in the third, which was pretty refreshing. But there was not near enough noise in the building. And look, if you want them to feed off the energy, you got to make some noise. I know it's tough. I know it's hard seeing them go on a 5-game losing skid, but they will rebound from this. I know they will, because we've seen it happen before. Now's not the time to doubt. We're going into the last stages of the month of November. We're going into the early stages of December, and then it's crunch time. When you start to panic is in that last month of the season. If you're out of the playoffs by the last month of the season, then you hit the panic button. But right now, they're still in second place in the division. So everybody who is freaking out, everybody who is just like, hey, what's going on? Like, this is not good. They're on a little bit of a losing skid, yes. But they're still second place in the division. This team is good enough where you don't have to worry about them dropping all the way down to sixth place. It's a tight division race. There's plenty of points to be made up before the trade deadline. Everything's going to work out as it's supposed to. Because this team is three things: resilient, competitive, and nonstop. They will keep coming back and making them your worst nightmare to play against. They've just got to get back into that rhythm. With that being said, it is, by the time I'm recording this, it's almost 11 o'clock. I have little to no voice left after that game. I am going to be resting it tomorrow, and I will be back at the rink on Friday for the Bellefleur Tire Shop Grand Falls Greenfoot Rapids pregame show, which we will reveal the winner of the Rapids Heat Index Player of the Week. So far, the voting is going very well. If you haven't already done so, make sure you are putting your vote in the spreadsheet. I will link the sheet below so that you can put your votes in. Make sure to do that before Friday morning's deadline so that we have an official result. So far, it seems to be, I'm not going to tell you who's leading. I'll let you figure that out. But so far, it seems to be that a lot of people are voting, and it's turning out really well. So with that said, I want to make things a little bit more kind of interactive for you. So you have the voting for the player of the week. We've got some fan comments that are coming next episode on the postgame show. We have a lot more postgame interviews, hopefully, that we're going to be conducting soon, which would be really nice. And on the broadcast, I was able to interact with a couple of you on the MJHL message boards as well. So it's something that I'm very excited for. And I'm very, very excited to be a lot more interactive. So if you want your chance to be a part of not just the show, but the broadcast as well, you know what to do. Log into the message boards if you want a message on the broadcast. You can send me a message on Facebook if you have a question after the game that you want to ask. If there's anything, a certain topic that you want to discuss, then we can do that as well. And overall, I think we're going to go through with that for the Heat Index Player of the Week as well. I want you to vote on who you think is the Player of the Week. So with that being said, I am going to get some rest now, but final words from this post-game show. They may be on a losing streak now, but don't lose faith. They will come back, and when they do, it's going to be legendary. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, hit the little bell notification for all future content, and make sure to stay glued to the channel for all of the exciting details that are coming in the next few days.